Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Kieran Downer from Document Management Tasmania, and thank you yet again for joining me today. It's an absolute honour to spend a few minutes of your time with me. So, the concept of our YouTube channel is in order to actually help everyone navigate successfully through the pandemic and the challenges that happen within. So one of the big things that as your business is starting to come back online, cash flow. Because you know very well, very few businesses are selling what they used to do. Their turnover hasn't happened because people are still just starting to find their way back into it, and it's a slight challenge. So, and in view that you may have a sales cycle of 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 12 weeks, and let's not talk about sales cycles, I can talk about that for years, and we may do it in another video. But the reality is what you have to look at now as a business owner is your cash flow. What are you going to do to actually ensure that your cash flow survives the sales cycle period until business normality actually becomes normal? And right here, right now, and whilst we're coming into nearly our 4th month of this pandemic, we all know our sales cycles and our cash flows have taken a hit because the business activity isn't there. Now, the Australian government have put forward a range of incentives, and this one is an absolute cracker. And in my 25 years of business, I've not seen this, and it is an incredibly fantastic opportunity, and it's something that you may not be aware of, and if you're not aware of it, you're about to become. The Australian government, through all of the major banks, have rolled out up to $250,000 on a loan, and it is a loan, it's not a grant or a gift, which is unsecured, to enable you to bolster your business and its working capital. Right, up to $250,000. Now, the reality is the banks are the ones controlling it, and the Australian government is underwriting it. Now, you've got to actually still meet your normal credit terms, and it still goes through a credit assessment, and it's still treated as a bank loan. But what an incredible opportunity. What an incredible opportunity to get unsecured financing for working capital. It's unprecedented, and it's something that you'd be crazy not to explore. So how do you explore it? Well, the first thing I would recommend you do is reach out to your accountant and get the advice that they are going to give you in relation to your business in your particular circumstance, and then reach out to your banker. Now, regardless of who you bank with and which bank it may be, the other thing that you have to be mindful of is the banks are now pulling away from short-term financing, so extensions and overdrafts are being wound back, and the banks are now going, we don't know how long this pandemic financial scenario is going to last for. So that being the case, you need to take that short-term debt and convert it into a medium to long-term debt in order to protect your cash flow. The other thing that I'm aware of is with the government, it's a fixed rate product, and it's substantially cheaper than your current overdraft. So these are also things that I, once again, get independent advice from your accountancy before you go to the bank, that you should explore. Now, the challenge you have, and I was only actually talking to my bank earlier this week, is the banks are getting overrun, because you've got to bear in mind, the banks haven't come fully back online yet, so you'll find a lot of their back office is still working on that decentralised business model where they're working from home, they're not fully back to 100%, and because of that, everything takes a little bit longer. So in my particular case, my relationship manager, who's awesome, told me, look here, and it's going to take about 4 weeks because of the huge demands that have been put onto our credit team. You need to actually put that into the back of your head as well. So whilst you're looking at these fantastic incentives, and I hope you don't miss out, and I hope you certainly do explore it, but also be mindful of the time lags that are going to happen to get things done, because you and I both know in a decentralised business model, people aren't as efficient as we would like them to be. It happened within your business, it happens within their business, and unfortunately, until we get everyone back into the offices, it's just the way it's going to be. So, word for the wise, something for you to explore. Ring up your accountant today, check out what is this about the government backed loans that the banks are running. The banks, let me say, whilst it's government backed, it's run through the banks. You still got to meet the normal credit terms that the banks will expect. They're not setting you up to fail. You've got to be able to pay it back. It's not a gift, it's not a grant. But it could be, and it should be, an incredible tool to help you navigate through the challenges of cash flow during this pandemic. On that note, you look after yourself, pick up the phone now. You know the number, pick up the phone, talk to your accountant, get that independent advice and make something happen. We'll get through this. See you again tomorrow.